Yeah. So today we'll discuss simplex method. So I will take one problem and I will explain how to solve that particular LPP by using simplex method. So after the completion of the problem, you can understand the steps also. So write down the first problem, problem number one. Solve the following LPP. Solve the following LPP by using solve the following LPP by using simplex method. By using simplex method. Maximum z equal to 4x1 plus 10x2. 4x1 plus 10x2. 4x1 plus 10x2. Subject to the constraints. Subject to the constraints. Subject to the constraints. Write down the first constraint. 2x1 plus x2. 2x1 plus x2. 2x1 plus x2 less than or equal to 50. Less than or equal to 50. 50. Less than or equal to 50. Second constraint. 2x1 plus 5x2. 2x1 plus 5x2 less than or equal to 100. Less than or equal to 100. Third constraint. 2x1 plus 3x2. 2x1 plus 3x2 less than or equal to 90. And how many additional variables are there here? x1 comma x2 greater than or equal to 0. So this is the problem given to you. So this particular problem can be solved by using graphical method also, because how many decision variables are there? 2 decision variables are there. So you can use graphical method, but what is the question given? Question is given, solve the following LPP by using simplex method. So I will apply simplex method for this one. So ordinary simplex method is used if all the constants are less than equal type only. Ordinary simplex method is used. If any one constant is greater than equal type or equal to type, then you have to go for either big M method or two-phase method. If all the constants are less than equal type, then you can go for ordinary simplex method. So if any one constant is greater than equal to type, any one is enough, greater than equal to type or equal type, then you have to use either big M method or two-phase simplex method. So later on we will see that one. So in this case, all the constants are less than equal to 0. So for this particular problem, you have to apply simplex method. Okay. So what is step number 1 in simplex method? First I will explain the step by step. Listen carefully. If you understood, then you can write. Okay. Step number 1. Step number 1 in simplex method is check your objective function is maximization or minimization. That means you have to check your objective function is maximization type or minimization type. If it is maximization type, you can ignore step number 1. So in this particular problem, objective function is given maximization. So you can ignore step number 1. Suppose if it is minimization, suppose minimization problem is given, then it can be converted into maximization by using maximum z star equal to minus minimum z. Minus minimum z. When you have to use this formula, if objective function is given minimization, but in this case it is given maximization. Suppose assume that this is the minimization is given. Suppose you assume minimization is given, maximization is not given, only minimization is given. Then check your first step is nothing but what is that? Check your objective function is maximization or minimization. If it is maximization, you can ignore step number 1. If it is minimization, then convert it into maximization by using this relation. Okay. So what is this relation? Maximum z star equal to minus minimum z. That means what you will get maximum z star equal to minus minimum z. Minimum z means what is that? 4x1 plus 10x2. That means what you will get maximum z star equal to minus 4x1 minus 10x2. So here this is the maximum. Now it is converted into maximization where z star equal to minus z. So like this you have to convert. If it is minimization, objective function is minimization, then convert the minimization to maximization by using this relation. What is the relation? Maximum z star equal to minus minimum z. So minus minimum z is the value. What is the function value? 4x1 plus 10x2. That means minus 4x1 minus 10x2. So where z star equal to minus z. So after getting maximum z star, just calculate z star equal to minus z. Z value can be minus z star. Suppose maximum z star 10 you got. What is the z value then? Minus 10 you will get. So like this. When you have to use this one, if it is minimization. But in this particular LPP, what is given? Maximization is given. Minimization is not given. So maximization is given. That means you can ignore step number one. Step number one is ignored. Okay. So I think all of you understood what is the step number one in simplex method. What is step number one? Check your objective function is maximization or minimization. If it is maximization, ignore step number one. If it is minimization, then convert minimization to maximization by using that relation. What is that? Maximum z star equal to minus minimum z. Next, step number two. Step number two is nothing but check the right hand side values of the constraints. Right hand side values of the constraints. What is step number two? Check the right hand side values of the constraints. If all the constraints are positive, if all the values are positive, check the right hand side values of the constraints. If all the values are positives, ignore step number two. If any one value is negative, suppose negative and minus 50 as given, minus 50, suppose negative, any one value is negative, then multiply that constraint into minus 1. Then multiply that constraint into minus 1. That means what you will get? What you will get then? Minus 2x1 minus x2. Now minus you are multiplying, minus 1 you are multiplying means what you will get? You will get less than equal to becomes greater than equal to 50. Greater than equal to 50 so that this negative becomes positive. So that this negative becomes positive. I think all of you understood step number 2. What is step number 2? Check the right hand side values of the constraints. If all the constraints are positive, you can ignore step number 2. If any one constraint is negative, any one constraint is enough. Suppose sometimes two constraints may be negative, then multiply into minus 1. Okay, same concept. So that you will get positive here. Okay. So if any one constraint is negative, then multiply the total constraint into minus 1 so that this right hand side negative value becomes positive value. Negative value becomes positive value. So but in this case, I got all are positives. I got all are positives. So you can ignore step number 2 because right hand side values, I got right hand side values are positives. So that means you can ignore step number 2. Now, how many steps you have finished? 2 steps. What is step number 1? Check your objective function is maximization or minimization. If it is maximization, you can ignore step number 1. If it is minimization, convert into maximization by using the relation I have told. Okay. Next, step number 2 is nothing but check the right hand side values of the constraints. Check the right hand side values of the constraints. If all the values are positive, then you can ignore step number. Then you can ignore step number 2. If any one value is negative, then multiply that constraint into minus 1 so that negative value becomes positive value. So step number 1 is ignored for this problem. Step number 2 is ignored. Okay. Next is step number 3. So what is step number 3 in simplex method is convert the given LPP into a standard form. Convert the given LPP into a standard form. So how will you convert the standard form? You have to learn what is the standard form. So what is the standard form? Standard form means objective function is maximization. That already I got maximization. Constraints are equality type. Equality type and decision variables are non-negative. So that means already objective function is maximization. Only thing is I have to convert these inequalities into equalities. Then only you will get a standard form. So how will you convert the inequalities into equalities? So there is a usage of slack variables and surplus variables if required. Okay, so when slack variables are used only for less than equal to type constraints, you require slack variables. For greater than equal to type constraint, you require surplus variables. Here, how many less than equal type constraints are there? How many less than equal type constraints are there? Ordinary simplex method means all are less than equal to only. So all are less than equal to means how many less than equal type constraints are there? 3. That means how many slack variables are required? 3. So why you require slack variable? Slack variable is added or subtracted? Added. So why you require slack variable? To convert the inequality constraint into equality constraint. To convert the less than or equal to constraint into equality constraint, you require slack variable. So that means original problem, how many variables are completed? See this one. Original problem, how many variables are completed? X2 is completed. That means how many slack variables are required? 3 less than equal type constraints are there. That means you required 3 slack variables. That slack variables I will consider as x3, x4, x5. Slack variables are non-negative or not? Non-negative means what is it? x3, x4, x5 greater than equal to 0. So I will introduce 3 slack variables x3, x4, x5 greater than equal to 0. Why I require slack variables? To get the equalities. Why you have to get equalities? To get into the standard form. Okay. Sorry, step number 3. Step number 3. Introduce the slack variables introduce the slack variables, x3, x4 and x5, x3, x4 and x5 greater than or equal to 0, greater than or equal to 0, and put the costs of these variables, and put the costs of these variables, and put the costs of these variables is equal to 0, is equal to 0 in the objective function, is equal to 0 in the objective function, is equal to 0 in the objective function. Then we get what is the objective function given to you? Then we get maximum z equal to, then we get maximum z equal to what is the maximum z value given? 4x1 plus 10x2. Now what is the sentence you have written? Just see step number 3, what you have written. Introduce the slack variables x3, x4, x5 greater than or equal to 0, and put the cost of these variables is equal to 0 in the objective function. This is the objective function, these are the cost values. So what are the slack variables cost? Slack variable cost is 0 you have to take. So that means what you will get? You will get 0x3, 0x4 plus 0x5. 0x4 plus 0x5. These are the slack variables. So slack variable cost is 0 in the objective function. This is the objective function maximization. Okay. So right, then we get maximum z equal to 4x1 plus 10x2 plus 0x3 plus 0x4 plus 0x5. Okay. Now see the first constraint. So this is the first constraint. First constraint is less than equal to type. Less than equal to means first slack variable is added. What is the first slack variable? X3. X3 is added to the first constraint so that inequality becomes equivalent. So that means I will add here x1 plus x2 plus x3. Don't write 0x3 here. The non-negative variable is added. Added means coefficient is 1. Okay, added means coefficient is 1. So added so that inequality becomes equality. Actually this first constraint inequality is less than equal to. Now slack variable is added so that inequality becomes equal. So how many variables are there in the problem? 5 variables are there. So you require some space. For variable 4, variable 5 requires space so that inequality becomes equivalent to value. What is the value? 50. First listen carefully, after that you can write. Okay. Now second constraint. See the second constraint. Second constraint is also less than equal to type. Less than equal to means next slack variable is added. Already x3 is completed. This is also less than equal to type. Next slack variable, what is the next slack variable? x4 is added so that inequality becomes equivalent. So you have to add x4 for the second constraint. x4 is added means x3 value is already added here. If x3 is added here, what is x3 value here? 0. So that means what you will get? 0x3. Now second constraint is also less than equal to type means next slack variable is added. What is the next slack variable? x4. So plus x4 is added so that inequality becomes equivalent to value. What is the value? 100. Now second one is completed. Now see the third one. Third one is also less than equal to type. Less than equal to means already x3 is added, x4 is added. What is the next slack variable? x5. So next slack variable x5 is added for the third constraint so that inequality becomes equal. So already x3 is used here. So x3 value here 0. So that means 0x3. Already x4 is added here. So that means x4 value is 0x4. Now third constraint is also less than equal to type. Less than equal to type means next slack variable is added. What is the next slack variable? x5. Added means take 1. Coefficient is 1. That means 1 plus x4. So that inequality becomes equivalent to value is 90. 90 I think. 90 na? Third one 90. Yeah. 90. Sorry, x5. This is x5. So that 0x5 will get here. Here x3 is added over to 0x4 plus 0x5. Now how many variables are there? See, 5 variables. So this is nothing but and xj greater than equal to 0. Standard form is objective function. Now constraints are equal type. Decision variables are non-negative. How many decision variables are there? J equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is step number 3. Still it is not completed. Step number 3 is nothing but what is step number 3? You have to make the LP into a standard form. Standard form means objective function is maximization constraints are equal type and decision variables are non-negative. So how will you make the LPP into standard form? So by introducing slack and surplus variables. If less than equal type constraints are there, use slack variables. If greater than equal type constraints are there, use surplus variables. In this problem, all the constraints are less than equal type. So it requires only slack variables. Original problem, two variables are completed. How many less than equal type constraints are there? Three are there. That means how many slack variables are required? Three slack variables are required. So that's why I am taking introduce the slack variables x3, x4 and x5 greater than equal to 0 and put the cost of these variables is equal to 0 in the objective function. Put the cost of these variables only in the objective function you have to put 0 cost, okay, and put the cost of these variables is equal to 0 in the objective function. Then we get maximum z equal to, this is the maximum z you will get, and after that take the first constraint. First constraint is less than equal type. Less than equal type means you require first slack variable. So I am taking the first slack variable. What is the slack variable? X3 is added for the first constraint so that inequality becomes equivalent. Second constraint is also less than equal type. So second slack variable is added. What is the second slack variable? X4. X4 is added so that inequality becomes equivalent. So third constraint is also less than equal type. So less than equal type, next slack variable is added. What is the next slack variable? X5. So x3 is added for the first one, x4 is added for the second one, x5 is added for the third one, so that inequality becomes equivalent. And how many variables are there in the problem? Xj greater than equal to 0, j equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now this is the standard form. After that we can write the matrix form. So matrix form also I have told a matrix form of an LP. Simply matrix form means what is that? Capital AX equal to B. Because simplex table means we require the matrix form first. So AX equal to B, already matrix form of an LPP I have told. So AX equal to B is the matrix form, and C is the cost matrix. Already I have denoted what is C, what is A, what is B there. So just I am writing those things here. So where AX equal to B, let us simply maximum Z equal to, maximum Z equal to Cx, capital Cx, maximum Z equal to Cx, and Ax equal to B, and x greater than equal to 0. So this is called matrix form. So next put the side heading matrix form. Same step number 3 only. Step number 3, matrix form. So matrix form is what is that? Maximum Z equal to Cx, capital Cx, capital X equal to B, and capital X is greater than equal to 0. Just I am writing those values where capital C equal to, where capital C equal to, C and the objective function. This is the objective function. C is the row matrices. Row matrices means coefficient values. What is the coefficient values? 4. Next value is 10, 0, 0, 0. So C is the row matrix I got. Next A. Next A matrices I will write here. A is nothing but the coefficients of the constant standard equation values. So these are the equations are constants. Okay, now this is called equations here. So coefficient values are 2, 1, 1, 0, 0 like that. Okay, coefficient values. So can you tell me the coefficient values? 2, 1, 1, 0, 0. 1, 0, 0. Next, second constant. Second equation. 2, 5, 0, 1, 0. Now the last one. Last one, what is that? 2, 3, 0, 0, 1. Now I finished A matrices. So A matrices is completed. Next, X matrices. So X I will write here. So X is nothing but, what is X? X is nothing but how many decision variables are there? How many decision variables are there? 5. So that means X1, X2, X3, X4, X5. X1, X2, X3, X4, X5. Last B matrices. B at the right hand side values. See the right hand side values. This is the B matrix. B at the right hand side values. What is the right hand side values? 50, 100, 90. So 50, 50, 100, 90. 50, 100, 90. This is 100. So 50, 100, 90. Okay. Now step number 3 is completed. So step number 3 is nothing but write down the standard form and matrix form. How will you write the standard form? If all are less than equal types, then include the slack variables so that inequality becomes equalities. So after that you can write a matrix form like this. I hope all of you understood. This is the first problem. Little bit confusion will be there. If you practice well, then automatically you can understand the method. Okay. So now this is the important step in simplex method. The first important step is this one. After that, the simplex table is important. Okay. So I think all of you understood up to this. Next, step number 4. So step number 4 onwards, so the simplex table we get. Okay. So I will tell you what are the columns required in simplex table. First, listen carefully. This matrix form is required, so I won't drop this one. So remaining data I will drop. Now listen carefully. This is the most important step in simplex method. Step number 3, after step number 4. So now step number 4 is the simplex table. So simplex table, what would initial table or starting table will take. So first simplex table is called initial table or starting table. So initial table, just I will take initial table or starting table, whatever it is. Initial table or starting table. So listen carefully, what are the columns required? I will write here. So different textbooks they will follow in different manner, different denotions. So but solution is important. Ultimately, any method the same answer you will get. Okay, whichever method you have followed. Okay, so YB is the first column. I will tell you what is YB. So simplex table, the first column will be YB, and next column will be CB, and next is XB. Next, how many variables are there in the problem? In the problem, how many variables are there? 5 variables are there. So generally variables are denoted as x1, x2, x3. So basis I have denoted as y. So I will take y1, y2, y3, y4, y5. Later on I will convert it in terms of x. So that means how many variables are there in this problem? y1, y2, y3, y4, y5. And Cj is the cost matrix. So this is the table required. So the first 3 columns are fixed. What is the first 3 columns? YB. YB means what are the variables? What are the variables that enters into the basis? B enter basis. So YB means what are the variables that enters into the basis. CB means whichever variable enters here, what is the cost of those variables. Okay. XB means your B matrices. What is your B matrices? And next, how many variables are there in the problem? Suppose if here 5 variables are there, you are taking 5. Some problems only 4 variables are there, you will take y1 to y4. Some problems you will have 6 variables will be there, y1 to y6 you will take like that. And Cj is the cost matrix, C matrices. Cj is the C matrices. So these are the columns required. Up to these 3 columns, the fixed columns. These are fixed columns. This will change problem to problem. Y values will change. Okay. So Cj means C matrices. This is your C matrices. So substitute the C matrices first. What the value is 4, 10, 0, 0, 0. 4, 10, 0, 0. How to fill the data? I am telling you. Cj means cost matrix. This is the cost matrix you have. Just I have substituted those values. Now, what are the variables that enters into the basis? So actually, how many constraints are there? 3 constraints are there. Means you require 3 variables. So you require 3 variables here. What are the variables? These 3 variables should be identified. How many variables are there in the problem? 5. 5 variables are there. Which 3 variables wants to enter here? That we have to identify. So how will you identify? So see your A matrices. Where do you get the unit matrix elements? Where do you get the unit matrix elements? Those variables enters into the basis. Suppose 2 constraints are given. 2 constraints are given, then 2 by 2 unit matrix. 2 by 2 unit matrix means 1, 0, 0, 1. So 3 constraints are given. 3 by 3 unit matrix. 3 by 3 unit matrix means 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 1. Where do you find the unit matrix? Those elements enters into the basis. 3 variables. 3 constraints are given. Go for 1, 0, 0. So this is 1, 0, 0. 1, 0, 0. Next is 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 1. In the order you have to enter. First variable enter is 1, 0, 0. 1, 0, 0 means this is x1, this is x2, this is x3. So which variable enters first? x3. Base I have taken as y. So that means which variable enters first? y3. So first variable enter is y3. I think all of you understood. Where do you get the unit matrix elements? So 3 constraints and 3 unit matrix elements is 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 1. 1, 0, 0 means x3, x3 means y3 enters. Next 0, 1, 0, 0, 1, 0 means y4. And next 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 1 means y3. And what are the variables enters? y3, y4, y5. Like this you have to write. Okay. So after that, now see, remaining things you can fill up. See at a cost. So what is the y3 variable cost? Cost input, these are the cost values. y3 variable cost. What is the y3 variable cost? 0. So this is 0. y4 variable cost. y4 variable cost is 0. y5 variable cost. y5 variable cost is 0. Next, XB means I have told B matrices. What is your B matrices? This is the B matrices. 50, 100, 90. That should be copied as it is. 50, 100, 90. 50, 100, 90. Next, as it is the representation of A matrices. A matrices as it is, you have to substitute here. So see the A matrices. What is the A matrices? 2, 1, 1, 0, 0. 2, 1, 1, 0, 0. Next, 2, 5, 0, 1, 0. 2, 5, 0, 1, 0. 2, 5, 0, 1, 0. Next, what is that? 2, 3, 0, 0. 2, 3, 0, 0, 1. Like this, you have to fill the simplex table, initial table. So I think all of you understood how to fill the initial table. What are the columns are there? YP, and YP means what are the variables that enters into the basis. After entering the variables, what are the costs of those variables? And next, what is your B matrices? Next, what are the variable coefficients? You have to identify. Okay, so like that you have to fill each and every data. So how to identify the entering variables? Where do you get the unit matrix elements? Those variables enters into the basis. So 1 0 0 first, 1 0 0 into y3, next 0 1 0, y4, 0 0 1, y5. So what is the y3 variable cost? Cost will be here 0. Y4 variable cost 0, y5 variable cost 0. That's why you are getting zeros. Next B matrices. B matrices means 50, 100, 90. Next, as it is representation of A matrix. Like this, you have to fill the table, simplex table. So now this one is completed. I don't require this one now. So after completing the simplex table, you have to calculate two values. After completing the simplex table, you have to calculate two values. Just I will write those values. So first value required is Z. Z you have to calculate. First value you have to calculate is Z. And the next you have to calculate is net evaluation. Net evaluation is denoted by Zj minus Cj. So these are the two things you have to calculate. So what is the Z formula? How will you calculate the Z formula? So Z formula is nothing but summation Cb into Xp. Summation Cb into Xp. Summation means addition. Cb into Xp. You have to multiply and you have to consider the total. Okay, that gives Z value. And Zj minus Cj. So Zj minus Cj formula is summation Cb into Yj minus Cj. Summation Cb into Yj minus Cj. So first I will calculate Z formula. So see, Z formula I will calculate first. So for every table, for every simplex table, these are the two things you have to calculate. So first initial table, after that we will go for first table. So up to what extent you have to repeat the procedure, I will tell you in step number 5. So step number 4, what is it? You have to identify the simplex table. So I have identified, I have to calculate Z value, I have to calculate net evaluation. Net evaluation is denoted by Zj minus Cj. These are the two things I have to calculate. What is the Z formula? Summation Cb into Xp, and the Cb into Xp you have to multiply and then take the total, that gives the Z answer. Okay, and then you have to calculate the net evaluation. Formula is Cb into Yj, take the total, minus Cj you have to do. Okay, now Cb means you have, this is Cb. In both the formulas, if you observe, Cb is fixed in both the formulas. So identify Cb in a box because it is a fixed value in both the formulas. Just I am identifying Cb. Now apply the formula. First I am calculating Z. Cb into Xp, 0 into 50, 0, 0 into 100, 0, 0 into 90, 0. You have to add. There is summation. Summation means you have to add 0 plus 0 plus 0. So that means 0. That means initial table in simplex method, ordinary simplex method, initial table always Z value will be 0. Initial table or starting table always Z value will be 0 in ordinary simplex method. Okay, now Z is completed. This one is completed. Next, what you have to calculate? Net evaluation you have to calculate. So general net evaluation is denoted by Zj minus Cj. Net evaluation is denoted by Zj minus Cj. So how many net evaluations you will get? J means what is that? J is running from xj greater than equal to 0. J is running from 1 to 5. So 5 variables are there. So that means this is Z1 minus C1. This is Z2 minus C2. This is Z3 minus C3. This is Z4 minus C4. This is Z5 minus C5. These are the variables for the Y1, Y2, Y3, Y4. So how many net evaluations you will get? 5 net evaluations. This is called Z1 minus C1. This is called Z2 minus C2, Z3 minus C3, Z4 minus C4, Z5 minus C4, like that. So you have to calculate the net evaluation. For that I have given the formula Cb into Yj. Multiply and take the total minus Cj. Cj means this is the Cj. Okay. So first I am applying the first one. First net evaluation. This is Z1 minus C1 I am calculating. So carefully listen. Cp is fixed. What is the formula? Cp into yj. Yj means first value I am calculating. So that means y1 you have to consider. Cp into y1. 0 into 2 0. 0 into 2 0. 0 into 2 0. Take the total. Total means total value is 0. 0 minus 4. Minus 4 means what is that? 0 minus 4 is minus 4. Now first net evaluation value is minus 4. Next, same concept. Cp into y2 now. 0 into 1 0. 0 into 5 0. 0 into 3 0. Total value 0. 0 minus 10. Minus 1. Next, Cp into y3. Cp into y3 now. Okay. 0 into 1 0. 0. 0. Total value is 0. 0 minus 0. 0. Similarly, 0. 0. 0. 0 minus 0. 0. This one is also. This is step number 4. Step number 4 is nothing but you have to identify the simplex table columns, and after that you have to calculate z value and you have to calculate net evaluation by using these formulas. Already the procedure will be given to you in that you can calculate like this. Z value summation Cp into Xp, Zj minus Cj equal to summation Cp Yj minus Cj. Okay. Now step number 5. Don't write, just listen. Step number 5 is nothing but if all Zj minus Cj, if all Zj minus Cj greater than or equal to 0, solution is completed. What is the meaning of this one? All Zj minus Cj greater than or equal to 0 means 0 are positive. That means solution is completed. Whatever your Z value, that is your answer. But in this particular problem, suppose if you are getting plus 10 plus 4, you are getting plus 10 plus 4. Now see, all Zj minus Cj are greater than or equal to 0 or not? All are greater than or equal to 0. Greater than or equal to 0 means solution is completed. Whatever your Z value, that is your answer. That is the meaning of this step number 5. So step number 5 is nothing but all Zj minus Cj greater than or equal to 0. Then you have been reaching the optimum solution, and the optimum value of Z equal to whatever answer you got here. But in this case you are not getting positive. Okay, so what is step number 5? All Zij minus Cij greater than or equal to 0, you have been reached the optimum solution. Okay, otherwise if any one value is negative, then you have to go to next step. If any one value is negative, then you have to go to next step. So how many negatives are one value is negative, it is enough. So how many negatives you got? 2 negatives you got. And the step number 5 is you cannot apply step number 5 for this one, because if you get all are positive, solution is completed. Otherwise you have to go to the next step. What is the next step? Next step is nothing but if any one value is negative, one is enough. Okay, if any one value is negative, then directly that enters. If more than one negative is there, then choose the most negative. Suppose sometimes what happens is you will get only one negative. One negative means directly that enters into the basis. Directly the center means what is that? Y1 enters into the basis. Okay, so if you get more than one negative in this particular problem, you are getting more than one negative. If you get more than one negative, always choose most negative. What is the most negative here? What is the most negative? Minus 4 or minus 10? Negative. Ignore negative. What is the big value here? 4 or 10? 10. So choose the most negative. I am choosing the most negative. Okay. Clear? If you got all are greater than or equal to 0, solution is completed. If you get one negative, directly that enters. If you get more than one negative, then always choose most negative. So most negative means what is that? Minus 10. So minus 10 means what is that? Y2. Y2 wants to enter here, but already the basis is filled. Suppose I will tell you, in a class only 90 students are allowed. One student wants to join in the class. That means if one student wants to enter in the class, one student I have to send. That means what is that? Here already the basis is filled. Y3, Y4, Y5. Now Y2 enters into the basis. Y2 wants to enter into the basis. So that means some variable must be deleted. So that means for that you have to identify how to identify the deleting variable. So for that the procedure is there. So the procedure is you have to take the ratio. You have to take. So what is the ratio formula? How do you take? So ratio formula is minimum of xb by your entry column. your entering column, whatever entering column is there. What is the entering column here? Y2. So divide by Y2. Again I am repeating. So choose the most two negatives are there. I am choosing the most negative. Most negative means y2 wants to enter here. If y2 wants to enter here, some variable must be deleted. For that I have to identify how to identify the deleting variable ratio I have to consider. Which ratio I have to consider? Minimum of xv by whatever your entering column. In this particular problem, entering column is y2. If entering column is y2, denominator you can write y2. If entering column is y3, denominator you can write y3. If entering column is y4, denominator you can write y4. Only numerator won't change, denominator will change problem to problem. In this particular problem, you got y2. y2 wants to enter here, so that means divided by y2. Okay. So while taking the minimum ratios, so one condition should be satisfied. What is that? In your entering variable, 0 is there, negative number is there, don't consider the ratio. In your entering variable, 0 is there, negative number is there, don't consider the ratios. Suppose sometimes what happens is all are negatives, you will get like this in your entering column. So this type of solution is called unbounded solution. And if you want to calculate the ratios, you require at least one positive. Is required. Suppose sometimes here 0 will be there. At least 0 is not a positive. So 0 is there, negative number is there, don't consider the ratio. You require at least one positive. So this type of solutions are called also unbounded solutions. Okay, so but in this case we got all are positives. All are positives means ratios exist. Sometimes what happens here, you will get 180. 180 means don't consider this ratio. 0 is there, negative number is there, don't consider the ratio. Only positive numbers ratios you have to consider. So how many positive numbers are there? All are positives only in your entering column, all are positives. And all the ratios exist. I think all of you understood. In your entering column, 0 is there, negative number is there, don't consider the ratios. Only positive number ratios you have to consider. In this case, all are positives. Means all the ratios exist. Okay, now I will apply the formula. XP means this is XP, this is entering column y2. So 50 divided by 1. 50 divided by 1 is 50. Next, 100 divided by 5. 100 divided by 5 is 20. Next, 90 divided by 3. 90 divided by 3 is 30. Identify the least positive. What is the least positive? 50, 20, 30. Least positive. What is the least positive? 20. 20 means this deletes. This variable enters. Y2 will enter here. And which variable deleted? Y4 is deleted. And in place of next table, in place of y4, which variable enters? Y2 enters. So in place of y4, y2 enters. Okay, I think it is clear. Okay, next step is, so this is a calculation. Next step is, so the element you have to identify the leading or pivotal element. Leading element or key element you have to identify. How will you identify the leading element or pivotal element? The element which is common to entering column. See your entering column. Entering column is this one. Inner side arrow is there. So this is outside side means leaving column, leaving row. Okay. The element which is common to entering column and deleting row. What is the common element? Entering column and deleting row. What is the common element? You got 5. So this is called key element. Again I am repeating how to identify the key element or leading element or pivotal element. How will you identify? The element which is common to entering column. See the entering column. The element which is common to entering column and deleting row. Second row is deleted. That's why entering column, deleting row. What is the common element? 5. So what is the key element now? So key element equal to 5. Key element equal to 5. Okay. I think all of you understood up to this. Key element equal to 5. The next step is you have to make this key element as 1. Listen carefully. Next step is you have to make this key element as 1 and other element in the particular column should be equivalent to zeros by performing matrix row operations. Next step I am telling. Step number 8 I am saying. Okay, so this is nothing but what is it? After identifying the key element, make that key element is equal to 1. Whatever may be the problem in simplex table, make that key element as after identifying the key element, make that key element is equal to 1. And other elements in the particular column, only in this column. And and other elements in the particular column should be equivalent to 0 by performing matrix row operations. Matrix row operations you have to use. That means matrix row operations means how many rows are there. How many rows are there? 1, 2, 3. 3 rows are there. So just I will write here. So I think all of you are able to see this one. R1, row 1. This is row 2. This is row 3 because matrix row operations I have to consider. You can write this side or this side. Space is available, you can write this side. If space is available this side, you can write this side also. So 3 rows are there, R1, R2, R3. So first identify key element row operation. What is the key element row operation? Key element is 5. It is there in the second row. First you have to write the second row operation. First you have to write the second row operation. So make the key element as 1. How will you get 1 here? By dividing itself. Suppose 5 would divide by 5. 2 by 3 would divide by 2, 3. Okay. 3 by 5 would divide by 3, 5. 3 by 5. Okay. So make this key element as 1. Whatever may be the element, that should be equivalent to 1. Suppose already it is equal to 1, no problem. Okay, divide by 1. So if it is not equivalent to 1, make it is equivalent to 1 by dividing itself. By dividing itself. Whatever may be the number, by dividing that number gives automatically 1 here. So that means what is that? So if you are using row operations, you are not using column operations. Row operation means if you want to apply operation here, it should be applied to the entire row. That means what is that? R2 divided by 5. R2 divided by 5. Then automatically 5 by 5. 5 by 5 is 1. So that means key element is 1. Then other elements should be equivalent to 0. Actually, what are the elements here? 1 and 3. This should be equivalent to 0 by performing matrix row operation. So how will you write these operations? Just I will tell you 3 steps here. Listen carefully. Now key element is in which row? Key element is there in the second row. Key element is there in the second row. So don't touch the remaining rows. Don't touch the remaining rows means R1 will be as it is. R3 will be as it is. Because key element is there in the second row, I am not touching the R1 row, R1 will be as it is, R3 will be as it is. So now compare these two elements. Same signs are there, put minus. Opposite signs are there, put plus. Same signs are there, put minus. Opposite signs are there, put plus. So I am comparing R1, R2. Same signs. Same signs means put minus. Same signs means put minus. So comparing these two. Same signs. Same signs means put minus. Opposite signs means put plus. So same signs means minus. Okay. First step is what? Key element is there in the second row, so don't touch the remaining rows. R1 will be as it is, R3 will be as it is. Now same signs is there, put minus. Opposite signs are there, opposite signs are there, put plus. So same signs are there means minus. So I will be minus. Next, whatever the key element operation, whatever may be the key element operation, already you got the key element operation, R2 divided by 5. So whatever may be the key element operation, that should be copied here. That should be copied here. That means what is that? R2 divided by 5. R2 divided by 5. This is also R2 divided by 5. R2 divided by 5. R2 divided by 5. Just I am rubbing this one so that you can understand better. R2 divided by 5. R2 divided by 5. R2 divided by 5. Okay? Because key element operation I have copied. Next, go for R1 element. What is the R1 element? R1 element is 1. R1 element is 1. What is R3 element? R3 element is 3. R3 element is 3. Whatever may be the element, that should be multiplied here. You have 1 into 1, you have to multiply. If it is 5 by 3, you can multiply 5 by 3. If you have 2 by 7, you have to multiply 2 by 7. Whatever may be the element, that should be multiplied here. That means into 1 and into 3. Into 3. Because 3 is the R3 element, so I am multiplying with 3. So what are the operations I finally got? I am writing the operations here. First row operation is R1 implies R1 minus R2 by 5. 1 into R3 is R2 by 5. Second row operation what I got? R2 implies R2 by 5. Third row operation what I got? R3 implies R3 minus 3R2 by 5. 3R2 by 5. These are the operations you are getting. If you practice well, then automatically you can write the operations very quickly. Okay, again I am telling, make this key element as 1, other element should be equivalent to 0 by performing matrix row operations. How many rows are there? 3 rows, R1, R2, R3. Now key element is in which row? Second row. First write down the second row operation. How will you get 1 here? By dividing itself. So that means entire R2 divided by 5. Okay, so now key element is there in the second row. Key element is there in the second row. First row I am not touching. R1 implies R1, R3 implies R3. Okay, and and then same signs are there, put minus, opposite signs are there, put plus. Same signs means I am putting minus, minus. Next, whatever key element operation that should be copied here. That should be copied here under R2 by 5, R2 by 5. Next, go for R1 element. R1 element is 1, R3 element. R3 element is 3. That should be multiplied here. That means 1 into R2 by 5 and 3 into R2 by 5. So that finally, what are the operations you are getting? These are the operations for the second table. Second table. So these are the steps. These are the steps only you have to repeat. Up to what you will repeat until you get all are positives or there is an indication of unbounded solution. Unbounded solution is if you don't get any positive value. Any positive value in your entering column you won't find any positive value. That indicates unbounded solution. Or you may get all are positives. All are positives. Up to that you have to repeat this procedure. Okay. So for identifying the second table, these are the operations you have to perform. Okay. For second table values, if you want to calculate, these are the operations you have to perform for the second table. Okay. So now I want second table. Initial table or starting table is completed. So now the second table. Just I will mention here second table. Second table. This also I don't require. I will rub it out. This data is required. So this data is required. Just I will keep the data so that you can understand. Second table, because starting table is completed. Second table. You have to repeat this procedure until you get all our positives or there is an indication of unbounded solution. So what are the columns required? Now you are familiar with the columns. What is the first column? First column is YB. What is the second column? CB. Next column. What is the next column? XB. Now how many variables are there? 5. Y1, Y2, Y3, Y4, Y5. Y4, Y5. Cj is the cost matrix. Cj is the cost matrix. First I have to write down the C value. These are C matrices. Same should be copied as 4, 10, 0, 0, 0. What are the variable centers? In this case y4 is deleted, so y2 enters. So in place of y4, y2 enters. Okay, so y3 will be as it is. Y3 as it is. Actually y3, y4 you will get. In place of y4, which value enters? Y2 enters, and then y5. y3, y2. This is the only difference. y2 in place of y4, y2 enters. Now cost means these are the cost values. So see the cost. Y3 variable cost. Y3 variable cost is 0. Y2 variable cost. Now the cost is changed 10. 10. And Y5 variable cost. Y5 variable cost is 0. The remaining calculation you have to use these operations. First I will write the second row because key element is there is the second row. First I will write the second row operation. What is the second row operation? R2 divided by 5. So if you want to calculate this table, this previous table is main. So previous table data is required. So this one R2 divided by 5. Second row R2 divided by 5. This is second row. I have to calculate R2. This is R1, R2, R3. R2 this one. This is R2. CB is already I have calculated. So XP onwards you required. So see, this is second row divided by 5. 100 divided by 5. So 100 divided by 5 means 20. 2 divided by 5. Leave it as it is. 2 by 5. 5 divided by 5. 5 divided by 5 means 1. So I am getting 1. So 1 key element is 1. Okay. Next 0 divided by 5. 0 divided by 5. 0. Next 1 divided by 5. 1 by 5. 0 divided by 5. 0. 0 divided by 5. 0. Now second row is completed. Remaining rows you have to calculate. So actually I don't have space. So here you have to calculate actually. Here you have to calculate Z value and after that. So I will calculate the values here. Let's see. I will calculate the quotient values here. So what is the first row operation I will calculate this one. What is this one? R1 minus R2 by 5. R1 minus R2 by 5 first row. R1 and this is the first row. So first row is copied because calculation part is there. I have to copy the values. This is the first row. First row I am copying 50, 2, 1, 1, 0, 0. CB is not required. XP onwards you have to copy 50, 2, 1, 1, 0, 0. So R1 is completed. Minus. So in between minus is there, just put minus. And next R2 divided by 5. R2 divided by 5 is, don't see this one. Already I have calculated, but it's not required. Directly one more time you can calculate. R2 divided by 5. 100 divided by 5. 20. 2 divided by 5. 5 by 5 is 1. 0 by 5 is 0. 1 by 5. 0 by 5 is 0. Okay? That means what you will get when you can get this operation is completed just temporarily. You can calculate this value. So what is that? 50 minus 20, 30. 10 minus 2. 10 minus 2 is 8. 8 by 5. This is 1 minus 1, 0. 1 minus 1 by 5. 0. This is the first row operation. First row operation means first row you have to copy. So these are fine. So what is the first value? 30. 8 by 5. 0. 1 minus 1 by 5. 0. See this one. Key element is 1. Y2 enters. Y2 enters. Key element is 1. Other element is 0. Okay. Next one. This one is completed. This second row is complete. Now the third one. Third one you have to calculate. So I will write third one here only. So what is the third one? Third one is nothing but just I am writing the operation R3 minus 3R2 by 5. R3 minus 3R2 by 5. R3 means this is the R3 values. R3 value. Just I am writing copying these values 90, 2, and next value is 3. Next value is 0, next value is 0, next value is 1. 92, 3, 0, 0, 1. I have copied already those values. Those values already I have copied. Okay. So in between minus is there, just put minus. Just put minus. This is the actual R2 values. This is the R2. I have rubbed actually. This is the R2 values. So R2, what is that? 3 by 5 into R2. 3 by 5 into R2. Otherwise R2 by 5 is already here. So into 3 just you have to do. Into 3. So just I am dropping this one. R2 by 5 is, this is R2 by 5. Up to 20 onwards. HD onwards, this is R2 by 5. So R2 by 5 into 3 out to do. And into 3 out to do here. So 3 into 20. 3 into 20. 60. 3 into 2 by 5. 6 by 5. 3 into 1. 3. 3 into 0, 0. 3 into 1 by 5, 3 by 5. 3 into 0, 0. So R3 minus 3R2 by 5 is these values you will get. Now do the subtraction. So 90 minus 60, 30. This is 10 minus 604 by 5. This is 3 minus 3, 0, 0, minus 3 by 5, 1. Okay. Now this is third row. Third row you have to substitute. Third row means what is it? 30. 4 by 5. This is 0. This is again 0. Minus 3 by 5. 1. Minus 3 by 5. 1. Minus 3 by 5. 1. Okay. Now if we see what is the procedure I have told, key element should be 1. Actually Y2 enters, Y2 enters. So see the Y2 column. Key element is 1. Other elements become 0. I perform matrix row operations. I have performed matrix row operations. Matrix row operations. Okay. After getting the table, two things you have to calculate. Two things what you have to calculate. What is the same as to Z? What is the Z formula? Summation CB into XB. Summation CB into XB. Next what you have to calculate? ZJ minus CJ. Net evaluation. What is the net evaluation formula? Summation CB into YJ minus CJ. These are the two things you have to calculate in every simplex step. In every simplex step. So here I have to calculate. Here I have to denote. Just I will calculate here Z value. First I will calculate Z value. I think this calculation part is completed. This calculation part is completed, I assume. Okay. So shall we go for calculation of Z? So calculation of Z. If you are seeing, I can write here. You are seeing, I think Z value I will write here. So Z formula. So I have already told CB is fixed in both the formulas. So same concept. Already you have done starting table. Same concept. CB into XB. 0 into 30, 0. 10 into 20, 200. 0 into 30, 0. 200 plus 0. So what is the value? 200. Z value is 200. Next what you have to calculate? You have to calculate net evaluation. Net evaluation is denoted by ZJ minus CJ. ZJ minus CJ. What is the net evaluation formula? CB into Y1. CB into Y1. 0 into 8 by 5. 0. 0 into 4 by 5. 0. So remember 10 into 2 by 5. 10 into 2 by 5 means 5 ones are 5 2s. So 2 into 2, 4. 10 into 2 by 4. 4. 4 minus 4. 4 minus 4 is 0. 0. Next, CB into Y2. This is CB. Y2 minus upper value of 2. CB into Y2. 0. 10 into 1, 10. This is 0. Total value is 10. 10 minus 10. 10 minus 10 is 0. Next, CB into Y3. CB into Y3. 0 into 1, 0. 0. 10 into 0, 0. 0, 0 minus 0. 0. Next, CB into Y4. CB, this is Y4. CB into Y4. 0 into minus 1 by 5. 0. 10 into 1 by 5. 10 into 1 by 5 is 2. 0 into minus 3 by 5. 0. So 2 is the total value. 2 minus 0. 2 minus 0 is 2. Next, CB into Y5. 0, 0, 0. 0 minus 0. 0. See, all you are getting greater than equal to 0 or not? Greater than equal to 0, you are getting any negative value? No negative value. 0, 0, 0, 2, 0. 2 is a positive value. So we are getting all Zj minus Cj greater than equal to 0. So all Zj minus Cj greater than equal to 0 means solution is completed. So therefore, all Zj minus Cj greater than equal to 0 until you are not getting any negative value. Any negative value you are not getting. If you are getting negative value, then you can go to the next step. Again, you have to get one more table. Until you get all are positives, or there is an indication of unbounded solution. Unbounded and negatives, no positive is there. Okay, so you are getting all are positive, so solution is completed. So hence we have been reached the solution. Hence we have been reached the optimum solution. We have been reached the optimum solution. We have been reached the optimum solution. Hence the optimum value of z equal to 200 for the variables generally original problem, how many variables are there? Original problem, if you observe x1 x2, so x1 x2, I will go for x1 x2 here. So x1 x2, x1 means y1 is there here, y1 is not there. So that means for the variables x1 equal to 0 and x2 means y2. So generally variables right hand side you will see. Right hand side means b values. What is the b values here? This is the b values. This is the b value. So y2 exists because x2 means y2. So y2 variable. What is the y2 variable? 20. So x2 equal to 20. So now the problem is completed. I have converted y's in terms of x. So y1 is not there. So y1 is not there means x1 equal to 0. So original problem two variables are there. I will go for y1 and y2. So y2 variable exists. Y2 variable is nothing but 20. So x2 equal to 20. So the answer for this particular problem is maximum z value is 200 for the variables x1 equal to 0 and x2 equal to 20. I hope all of you understood. This is the first problem. So little bit confusion will be there. If you have procedure with you, you can practice one or two problems. You can feel better. Okay. So what is a simplex method procedure? First step is, what is the step number 1? Check your objective function is maximization or minimization. If it is maximization, you can ignore step number 1. If it is minimization, convert into maximization by using the relation maximum z star equal to minus minimum z. Okay, and then step number 2. What is step number 2? Check the right hand side values. So check the right hand side values and p values you have to check. If all are positive, you can ignore step number 2. If any one value is negative, then multiply that constant into minus 1 so that negative becomes positive. Okay, so in this case all are positives, you are ignoring step number 2. So step number 3 is nothing but convert the given LPP into standard form by introducing slack variables, because all the constants are less than equal type here. So you require only slack variables. So how many slack variables are required? 3 slack variables are required. What are they? x3, x4, x5. So greater than equal to 0, and put the cost of these variables is equal to 0 in the objective function. Then you will get the first table. So starting table, what you have to take? What is the table look like? So what is the first column? YB. YB is the first column. YB means what are the variables that enters into the braces. CB means what are the entering variables cost. XB means B matrices. And next, how many variables are there in the problem? 5 variables are there, you can write 5. 6 variables are there, you can write 6. Okay, and after that fill the values. So fill the values and calculate z value and then zj minus cj. If all zj minus cj are greater than equal to 0, solution is completed. If any one value is negative, then directly that enters. If more than one negative is there, choose the most negative. That variable enters. So after identifying the entering variable, identify the deleting variable. So how will you identify the deleting variable? By finding the ratio. What is the ratio formula? Minimum of xp by whatever your entry column in the problem. Okay, and take the minimum positive. That variable deletes. So after deleting variable identified, identify the key element. So how will you identify the key element? The element which is common to entering column and deleting row. Entering column and deleting row. This is called key element. After making the key element, identifying the key element. So make the key element as 1. Other element in the particular column should be equivalent to 0 by performing matrix row operation. By performing matrix row operations. So repeat this procedure. Repeat this procedure until you got all are positives, or there is an indication of unbounded solution. Unbounded solution means no positive will be existed. Okay, so like this you have to do the simplex method. Okay, I hope all of you understood. So tomorrow I will tell you one more problem in simplex method so that you can understand better. Thank you.